well, but it was a good experience. Apparently there's no exit doors on helicopters. Who's next?
Yep.
You really asked 3 questions. That was very clever.
After 72,000 hours of working that character, is it hard to separate your actually self from the character, and what do you do to separate if you do? Or do you just enjoy having that character as yourself?
Well, it's overlapping enough where you don't have to, it's not like I go home and my wife is like, go put John Shepard away. He's annoying me. It's not like that. But I had an experience where my kid was in school and I had to pick him up, and you know she's a British teacher and she's a little uptight, and she said, you know, Mr. Flanigan, I need to speak with you. And I was like, oh no, you know, God, what happened? My kid, he beat up another kid, you know, what happened? She pulls me outside, she goes, well, you know, the kids are 3 or 4 kids all sitting around playing their little Lego games, and each was talking about what their father did. Well, you know, one guy goes, oh, my dad's a fireman, you know, puts out fires. Well, my dad's a pilot, flies planes. Well, my dad's a banker, you know, he moves money around. And my kid just chimes in and goes, my dad flies through space and kills bad guys. And, you know, that really tight smile she had, she goes, I think it's very cute. But you might want to tell him the difference between reality and fiction. And I'm looking at her and I'm like, I'm like, okay. And I leave, I'm like, fuck her, man. I'm like, how long is that gonna last? My kid thinks I fly through space and kill bad guys, and I'm gonna lie as long as I can. So when he finds out my space just made of plywood, I'm screwed. So that was one of the few crossover moments. Other than that, I think people get a kick out of it. They get a kick out of it. It's fun. It's fun. It's a fun character to play. It's a fun show to kind of watch. I don't think there's enough of that type of television, you know, where it's just fun action adventure. And I think writers get really impressed with themselves and really like to write a lot of stuff to hear themselves talk. But the truth is, people relate to physical elements. And I like to see physical things. Action requires no translation. And classic, iconic, good guy, bad guy stuff requires no translation. Every culture in the world understands it. And in some ways, it's the easiest thing to do. Once again, the most elusive. I don't know why they screwed it up so badly, but, you know, there you go. Who's next? Oh, okay.
I heard they were going to be doing a TV special like they did with Stargate SG-1. I was wondering when that's going to be coming out.
The movie?
Yeah, the TV movie.
Oh boy. Well, I got to tell you, you know, I'm in a difficult position answering this because I'd like to do the movie. I have no indications they are going to do the movie. I don't want to say anything that would threaten the movie being made. But I just don't feel like my experience in Hollywood, my bullshit meter goes off, that they're entirely serious about doing it. And maybe I'm wrong. I hope I am. But, you know, I'm just being honest with you. Yeah, I'm just being honest with you. I also think that if they're not going to do it, telling people that at this particular moment would be, it's a sensitive issue. And they're trying to launch a new show. Now, if everybody is to be believed, the DVD market is in a major depression, and consequently, they don't want to greenlight any type of movies right now. If they're to be believed, it's also possible that it's a little bit of both of those things. So, I think it's moronic not to do the movie. I know they'll make a lot of money. But then I thought it was moronic not to do a 6th season of the show. Watch me get no phone calls for that one. Always told the truth. That's been my problem. Who's next?
Just wanted to know what you thought about how you feel about character crossover between the shows, and particularly about Stargate Universe.
I mean, our issue with Stargate Universe is kind of a complicated one, because we were told that they were always thinking about spinning off another show, and so we just assumed that they would spin off a show while we were on the air, just like they did with SG-1. When they told us, I think I choked on my mashed potatoes. Maybe it was chicken, I don't remember. When they told us they were actually canceling our show to greenlight this other show, I was trying to get my head around the economics of that. And everybody, I'm a businessman too, I can understand. Anybody who throws numbers out at me, I can basically understand why things happen. This is a business. It's called the entertainment business, you know. It's not a charity, we understand. But the numbers didn't make sense. We were making everybody a lot of money. And couldn't understand it. So with the universe thing, you know, I have a tremendous amount of respect for Robert Carlyle as an actor and all those people, and I wish them the best. And I think everything needs to be judged on their own merit. And beyond that, you know, it's a little, it's tough for the cast. It's tough for the cast. You know, I think the cast feels like unceremoniously bumped. And there's been a lot of weird comments in the press that I think have hurt some of the cast members, and so it's odd, and who knows? Maybe Universe will do well. They're saying it's doing really well. And I don't know what that means exactly. I know that our numbers were much higher, and you know. I know that they're heavily invested in it. It has to work, I guess. Pretty much has to work. It's a good question. If Stargate Universe does really well, will we do a movie? I mean, that would kind of be the logic. Maybe we would do a movie. But it might be the opposite. It's hard to get in their heads. Once again, I've never gotten a fully accurate answer as to what happened, how it happened, and why it happened. Everybody tells me a different story, and they tell the rest of the cast different stories, so you try to make what you can out of everything. And as far as Universe goes, I feel somewhat vindicated, because I tried for years to get them to move the camera and darken the tone, but keep the humor. And I like Battlestar, I thought it looked beautiful, but I thought it was way too serious. You know, I was like, that's Battlestar, but we're different. We have to still keep our sense of humor. And I noticed that in the new show, when I made those suggestions, they were not met kindly. They were like, well, that's not what we do. We don't want to be that show. We're a different show, and we can't stand that show. So it's just so odd to watch it and be like, wait a minute, that's, you know, Battle Stargate or whatever it's called. So, anyway, you can never have too little humor, that's for sure.